I got turned down to the Marines, incidentally, because I had flat feet and wound up in the Navy. And after I got over there, I found out why. I was happy that I did fail the Marines, because those guys were literally being blown out of the water. And I was safe aboard ship. Or so I thought. Until July 30th, 1945, when we were intercepted by a Japanese submarine, which poured 2 torpedoes into our starboard side, blowing about 30 feet of the bow off, completely off, like you'd slice off a piece of cheese. Needless to say, very few of the officers and stewards got out alive. Most of them were either burned to death in the initial explosion or went down with the ship, which started a 5-day ordeal in the Philippine Sea amidst shark-infested waters, and no food, no water, no nothing. All we had was each other. All I can say is you had to be there to realize the horror of it all. Guys were hallucinating. They were drinking the salt. I didn't know this until then, but you drink that salt water and it starts you to hallucinate. And guys were hallucinating all over the place, starting fights with each other, seeing things that weren't there, swimming away from the groups. It was just chaos. I lived to be 1,000 years old. I'll never forget some of those scenes. How did I feel? Well, I felt relieved because a buddy of mine from my division showed up in the group that I was in the water, and we kind of consoled each other all that time. And we talked about what we had done in the past and what we had planned for the future and all this stuff, and kind of kept each other going. But the first day I did see several shark fins floating around, swimming around. Second day on Tuesday, I think it was, I looked down to see a shark just literally cruising between my legs down, who knows, 20 feet, 40 feet. Nevertheless, this buddy of mine and I both came up out of the water, screaming and hollering and splashing. Next thing we knew, he was gone. Thank goodness. But the sharks mostly bothered those off by themselves. They didn't bother the ones in a group. But you always knew when a shark hit somebody, because they'd leave out a blood-swirling scream that you just couldn't believe. And I can hear them screams today. But this buddy of mine that I went through this ordeal with, we keep in touch. In fact, I just called him yesterday. We're on the phone, or he's writing letters, I'm writing letters. We call each other on the phone. We're about as close as two brothers can be.